and was so complicated. My father passed away in 2015, and a lot of my Black American pride comes from him. My mother is Black. She's a Black Caribbean from Jamaica, born in Jamaica. And my father is mixed. He is a Afro-Latino. And I am considering myself Afro-Caribbean. But yeah, so today is weird. It's weird. My dad and I had a very complex relationship. I definitely grew up a daddy's girl. I wanted to be exactly like my dad. I wanted to do everything my dad did, including basketball. I was really into basketball and sports I'm still into sports, but my basketball dreams were sort of shattered in high school when I was only selected as an alternate, and my dad was like, you should join cross country. And so I did that because the cross country coach actually convinced my dad that I should do that. So that's what I did. And I'm a runner. Thus the running medals. But back to this complex relationship. So I grew up, under my dad's wing. But I also, I love my mother. She was not as attentive, I would say, a parent as my father, but she was, I would say, more present in our lives, and also gave us a bit more space. My dad was definitely all up in my business often, like reading my diary type all up in my business, which I did not appreciate. But that's a story for another day with my therapist. Eventually, our relationship did strain as I grew into an adult and realized he's a great dad to me, but not a great person. So what I mean by that is my dad really cared about me, and he loved me. And he really stressed education and learning and knowledge, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate his work ethic and other, worldly things that he taught me to prepare me for society. But as a whole human, he was flawed, and he would say, no one's perfect, and I understand no one's perfect, but everyone should be held accountable for their actions. And I feel like he was sort of missing that concept in a lot of ways. So because of some of his actions and the way that I felt about them and how he should be going about them, we strained our relationship. There was also a time where he kicked me out of the house for being on birth control, but that's like a whole nother story, and I'm not gonna get into that right now. We can table that. We'll do that another day. But yeah, I mean, that is the main reason why I feel like today is so complicated, where I'm supposed to celebrate my father. My father's not here to be celebrated, and also where we left off was weird. I'm gonna go back to weird. Yes, it was weird. But we were on the path toward him being more forthright and him getting better at not being shitty. But that didn't happen because he suddenly passed away. And so this holiday and other, Hallmark holidays, I really have, I don't have issue with, I have understanding for, because everyone's relationship is so very different, and people are very complex, and your relationships with those people are not always perfect, even though we really try to make them seem that way. I will never do that. Because I genuinely and purposefully try to be as transparent as possible, I am not going to be the person to be like, look at how perfect my relationship is, everything is great and life is great, and I can't believe I'm so blessed. But I am blessed, and I am grateful, and I am somewhat happy most of the time. But that doesn't mean that all my relationships are perfect. My sister and I are right now in a strained relationship. There's still love there, but there's strain there. It's not perfect. My mother and I are in a strained relationship. There's still love there, but it's strained. It's not perfect. You have to want it, and you have to understand what the other person wants out of the relationship. And that is not easy, because a lot of people don't know how to communicate what it is that they need or want from the relationship that they have with you. And it's not always organic. It's fun when it's organic. It's so much fun. But that's not always the case. And when it's concerning the people you love, and your growth with them, and their growth with you, and together, y'all's growth together as you all become adults, which I'm an adult, you have to compromise sometimes, and you have to set boundaries a lot of times. I would not recommend growing up. If children are watching this, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? For me. Back to Father's Day, though. Father's Day is complex. This entire weekend is complex because the American staple in my family is not here. And my father was definitely a person that heavily instilled Black history on me, like quizzed me in February and had me read books and made sure that I knew as much history as he was able to instill in me as he could. So it's unique. It's very unique, you know, when one parent isn't exactly educated on those things, and the other one is heavily educated on those things, and it's hard to bridge that gap. So I think I'm going to work on that, and I'm glad that I spoke about this with you all, and I'm glad for any sort of inspiration that this provides to you all, and I hope that you all have wonderful fathers, and if you could just hold them a little bit tighter for me.